yo soy Magnolia y el día de hoy nos encontramos en el Mandalay Bay, donde vamos a estar con Oscar de la Hoya. Nos va a contar todos los detalles acerca de la pelea, sus expectativas. Continuamos aquí con Oscar de la Hoya. ¿Cómo te encuentras el día de hoy?
Me encuentro muy bien, gracias.
¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Emocionado por esta pelea?
Me siento emocionado, me siento ya pues preparado, ¿no? para esta gran noche de boxeo. Miguel Cotto, Canelo Álvarez va a ser una batalla inolvidable, una rivalidad entre México y Puerto Rico en el cuadrilátero. Pues yo creo que son de las mejores en el boxeo y pues yo creo que ambos boxeadores nos van a brindar una bonita pelea.
¿Cuáles son tus expectativas de Canelo al igual de Cotto?
Yo creo que pues obviamente el Canelo tiene que salir como el joven que es, con mucha energía. Saber que está bien preparado, saber que tiene la fortaleza, tiene la rapidez para salir y ganar la pelea.
Exactamente.
Y también pues Miguel Cotto, que tiene experiencia, que es el peleador que se ha enfrentado a todo el mundo. Él va a tratar de usar su cabeza, moverse,
porque
boxearle.
Dicen que la experiencia gana.
Claro, cuesta mucho, sí, vale mucho. Así que esta pelea va a ser muy interesante porque si Canelo sale desde el primer asalto, presionando, boxeando, tirando mucho golpe, quizás lo puede noquear.
Exactamente. Y bueno, ¿qué es lo que tú esperas de esta pelea? ¿Un knockdown o un judge?
Yo estoy esperando un knockout. Yo creo que esta pelea, por la pasión que está envuelta en esta pelea, la gente está esperando una gran pelea, una gran batalla, y yo creo que ambos boxeadores van a pues brindarlos, ¿no? Una bonita pelea.
¿Por qué crees que hay tanta controversia ahorita en el boxeo de los puertorriqueños contra los mexicanos? O sea, porque esto va por muchas generaciones.
Claro, desde 1930 creo que es. Me recuerdan los tiempos Julio César Chávez con Héctor Macho Camacho, Salvador Sánchez contra Wilfredo Gómez, Fernando Vargas contra Félix Trinidad, su servidor contra Trinidad. Son rivalidades boxísticas que la gente quiere tanto, admira mucho porque hay pasión envuelto en la pelea. Los peleadores saben que tienen que pelear con muchas ganas.
Exactamente. Y bueno, un saludo para toda nuestra gente del área de la Bahía.
A toda la gente, sí, saludos de parte de Oscar de la Hoya. Estamos aquí desde el Mandalay Bay. Ya pronto veremos quién va a ser el mejor. Puerto Rico, México, Canelo, Cotto.
¡Arriba México!
Ganará?
¡Arriba México! Muchas gracias.
I expect a really knockdown, drag-out type of fight because both fighters are proud fighters, champions also, and they got a country on each back. You know, Mexican-American, also Puerto Rican-American. They are proud people of sports and culture. So this is a fight that carries a lot of weight and a lot of bragging rights. And so I see this fight being one of those fights where both fighters is going to have to face some adversity, and whoever deal with those adversity will be victorious.
And who do you think is going to win the fight?
Canelo.
Canelo?
Canelo by decision, yes.
By decision.
Point blank.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to join you all this evening because we have the opportunity to share a panel with 2 Hall of Famers and 1 surefire Hall of Famer. All 3 of them making history in the world of boxing, and that's why they are leyendas beyond the ring. Every corner has a story, and that's what we're going to talk about with these great men. Let's start off with a world-class trainer, multiple Trainer of the Year awards, inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the year 2012. Please welcome Freddy Roach. Freddy, have a seat. Bernard Hopkins, he is a surefire Hall of Famer. He is the oldest man not only to ever win a world title, but to unify the world title. And I say that with a ton of respect because nobody takes care of themselves like Bernard Hopkins. Nobody has done what Bernard Hopkins has been able to do in the ring. So B-Hop, please come up here and join us. And when you talk about leyendas, there's one man who not only has won Olympic gold, but he's become the golden boy of boxing, inside the ring and outside of the ring. As the elite and premier promoter today, please welcome the golden boy, Oscar de la Hoya. All right, we're gonna have a scene. We're gonna talk a little bit about how it is that everyone got to be who and where we are today. So let's start off with.
So when I was 4, I started boxing with my brothers, and then tournaments when I was 6. And you know, my dad really wanted us to be world champions, and we, you know, like Oscar, I didn't really like it at first. You know, it's just like I did it for my father and so forth. But then somewhere along the way, I learned to love the sport, and that day I became the best fighter in the house, and I had a pretty good career. And I never won a world title, but I sure tried as hard as I could. I worked really hard, and you know, maybe I should have boxed a little bit more and moved my head more on defense, but that's what I teach my fighters today. But for me, I like to fight too much.
All right, so we got a man who started boxing at age 4 and a man who started boxing at age 6. Bernard, your story was a lot different, but the culmination of it brings us to over 30 world title fights, 20 world title defenses at middleweight. Your passion for the sport, it had a different path.
Yeah, I started, I got introduced to boxing by my uncles, mother and father's side. They was local fighters in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is a rich boxing town. So I gained that, honestly, you know, it's in my DNA. But also, you know, coming from 4 sisters and 3 brothers, my sisters had left hooks better than Joe Frazier, I think. So, you know, there's a lot of scuffle going on in the house. And so, you know, we handle ourselves the way we handle ourselves. But at the end, I started really loving boxing early on, from 9 all the way up to early teenagers. And of course, you know, my story is well told and also well known. Had some bumps here and bumps there, and I picked my craft back up in that institution. And once I made a commitment to myself that I will extend my career as far as I believe I can take it, and that's why one of the reasons I'm on this couch with some legends, you know, Freddy, Roach, and Oscar de la Hoya. So we all got stories, but we reached the same path, and that path is being recognized as world champions and world figures in boxing and sports history. So that to me is a great accomplishment for myself and for everybody that reached that level.
When you look at boxing, Latinos and African Americans, Irish Americans, I guess, share the same story. A lot of homes that are broken homes, a lot of homes that don't have father figures. Talk to me, Bernard, about how the gym becomes a place where maybe you find that father figure, maybe you find that mentor, you find that male influence.
Well, boxing has a not a rule, but it has this type of spirit around it that I don't believe any other sport have that. And that is, I mean, I always say it to people when they ask me, you know, why did I become a fighter and why do people become fighters? I said, look, rich kids don't fight, where poor kids do. At this level, as champions, because it's just, they don't have to. So a lot of us, whether you're Mexican, African American, Irish American, whatever American you is in this country, and whatever you do, when you come from that environment, when you find your niche, most of us executed and become something out of that. Baseball players, look, you know, one of some of the greatest baseball players come out of Cuba. You understand? And fortunately, you know, a lot of other sports generate that type of success. So I think it comes from a lot of things. We all got a story, but when you all look at it, the story comes back home to what? Want to be something, and your parents want you to be somebody better than they was or wasn't. So that means financially, that means support. How can you know, carry everybody on your back and become successful? And a lot of us fight for things that we want to change that we knew. you know, that we want to change in the family structure or community.
Now, Freddie, there was a very instrumental man in your life, Eddie Futch. First as your trainer, then as your mentor and your teacher to become the trainer that you are today. What are the greatest teachings that you learned from Eddie in and outside of the ring?
You know, Eddie was a great man, and you know, he trained me for most of my career. And then he told me I should retire, and I told him I still think I could do it. So I fought 5 more times, and I lost 4 of those 5. So I guess he was right. But Eddie was a really good guy, and then I started hanging around the gym, and I was a little bit of a test. And he gave me a job as an assistant, and you know, a year later, I had my first world champion, Virgil Hill, and things started happening. And then, you know, Eddie taught me so well the things inside and outside of the game. I mean, first he taught me how to be a fighter, then he taught me how to be a trainer, and just like, you know, his thing, you had to really just pay attention to what he was saying, because he was very soft-spoken. And I've learned to be like that also. I don't yell in the corner, I don't scream and yell at my fighter. I'm very soft-spoken. I want them to, you know, they have to like listen to hear me, you know. So, but, you know, it comes to a point where you want to hear everything Eddie says. So you really pay attention. And that was the greatest lesson he ever taught me.
Listen now, Bernard Hopkins, a legend inside the ring, now a color analyst, as well as a partner in Golden Boy Promotions. Freddy Roach, not every boxer is a champion, but it just seems that every guy that you train is a world champion. And Oscar, you are here with Golden Boy Promotions, putting on one of the greatest fights, not only of this year, but probably of this generation with Cotto, Canelo. And your mission now is to pay it forward to the young up-and-coming fighters. How do you do that?
Well, there are many young, great, in the making, great champions that just need the opportunity. And you know, now that that one era is almost done with. Manny Pacquiao, your champion, maybe has, I don't know, 1 or 2 more fights left. It's no secret. Now, who's gonna carry that torch for the years to come? And I mean, what perfect timing. Cotto, Canelo, the winner of this fight here can possibly be the guy carrying the torch for many years to come. I mean, obviously I'm hoping Canelo does, my guy, our guy, but he has a very tough fight in front of him. When I found out that Freddy Roach was training Cotto, it's like you say to yourself, oh boy, here we go again, right? But that's what the fight game's all about. And this is the new era of the fight game. You know, these are the types of fights that the fans want to see, that they deserve to see. And so, you know, we're extremely proud to be putting this together. And, you know, Saturday night, I think we're going to get one hell of a fight.
And plus it goes beyond for you in terms of the work you're doing with younger fighters, with your promotional company and with different broadcast partners.
Exactly. Look, we're a machine. You know, Golden Boy Promotions knows how to promote fighters. We know how to produce champions. Every champion out there in the boxing world today came through the Golden Boy doors one way or the other. You know, at one point of their career, they walked through the Golden Boy doors. So we're a well-oiled machine. We just restocked on our products, on our fighters. We're up to about 90 fighters, where we believe we can generate and build the next superstars of tomorrow. So for us, it's a matter of time. For us, it's all about just keeping focused, you know, doing our job, and you know, sooner or later we're gonna be hearing about the next superstars in the sport, and it really is exciting because for me it's a passion. This sport here is dear to my heart, and now that I'm retired, all I want to do is give the fight fans the best fights and the fights that they deserve watching.
The word legend is bandied about very easily, but I'm blessed today, and we're all very fortunate to be sitting with real legends here. So I want to do something a little different. Yeah, give them a round of applause. They've earned it inside and outside the ring. I want to do something a little different. When it comes to being a legend, I don't want you to brag about yourself, you or you. I want you.
I don't have no problem doing that.
I know, tell me about it. But it could take 40 minutes, man, if I let you go bragging about yourself. B-Hop. So what I want to do is have each one of you guys tell me what makes the other guy a legend. So Freddy, I'm going to let you tell me why it is that Oscar De La Hoya, a guy who you train, is a legend.
Well, first of all, he's a great amateur fighter, and he won a big medal at the Olympics, and that was like the beginning of his stardom. I mean, a young kid from East LA winning the Olympic gold medal, and then going into the pro fighting, and then starting to dominate all the maybe older fighters out there, and he was the new kid in the block. And he beat them all, and then he fought for the world title, and he wins the world title. And then on top of that, he wins like 6 or 8 world titles. I'm not sure. He lost count somewhere along the way. But I did have the opportunity to train him for the Mayweather fight. I actually thought that we could have won that fight. It was very close, and Mayweather's a difficult opponent, but I thought Oscar outpointed him that night, but that's how things go. But I mean, just his work ethic was great, and that's why all the fighters that I train, they have to have great work ethic. If they don't have that, you don't have little guys like him. I mean, this means so much in boxing. So you have to work your ass off and to be really good in this sport. And discipline is just right there also. So discipline, work ethic, and results are great.
All right, how about B-Hop? You tell me why Oscar De La Hoya is a legend.
Well, there's a lot what Freddy just said, but you go a little further than that. When you see a fighter that comes from an era that not only have the boxing skills, but look better than everybody in his team. And so when you have the skills and you also have the charisma, now you're marketable in your market through a different, mainstream. You're not just into the boxing. Other people are paying attention. Mainstream America, like business people. When you see that, then you know that's something special. Ray Leonard in his time, the great Sugar Ray Leonard. Very few fighters. Canelo has that same opportunity, right? Come tomorrow, right? On HBO pay-per-view, just in case anybody forgot. When you have that special type of individual that comes and become, is a gold medal winner, and then you have all the other things that is really easy to market this guy as long as he continue to keep winning and continue to win belts and rack them up. So when you automatically, that's a pass right there that this is a superstar. How do you build off that now? You still, after all this I said, winning and fighting the fights that matters, that build your legacy. You look at the guys Oscar fought, all the way from the first division he fought and won a title, all the way up to fighting a big guy like myself at 160. When you look at a guy, when you look at a guy that fought multiple divisions and fought everybody in that era that was considered just as well as a good fighter or a champion or potential Hall of Famers, and a lot of those guys are. And a lot of those guys aren't because of him. And so when you look at all these things and you add it up, that's why he's where he's at, that's why who he is, and that's why no matter what goes down, you cannot take that away from any individual, especially Oscar De La Hoya.
All right, forget about that he hit you to with the liver shot that you still remember, but beyond that, what makes B-Hop a legend?
Well, I mean, Bernard is a fighter that you call a throwback fighter. You know, one of those fighters that, you know, he mentioned myself going to the Olympic Games, winning the gold medal, and instantly becoming this world-class athlete. You know, being on the world-class stage, you know, and being exposed to the world. It's almost like a shortcut, so to speak, because a throwback fighter has to work himself, you know, from the bottom all the way to the top. And there's no gimmies, there's no shortcuts. You know, he fought the very best. He fought the toughest guys that nobody wanted to fight. You know,
even at 49.
Even at 49 years old. But what's incredible here is that, I mean, Bernard Hopkins, with his 20 defenses, with his, you know, he stood by what he believed in. You know, he fought the very best. He fought the toughest fighters. He shattered records. You know, having more than 20 defenses in the middleweight division. And from experience, when I faced him, when I chose to fight him, and when that fight got made, I knew what I was up against, but I didn't know how special he was in the ring when I actually was there exchanging punches with him. We were in the fight. It was a very intense fight, but now studying the videotapes and studying the film on how he changed his game plan when the 6th, 7th, 8th round came along. But that's who he is. That he makes you believe that you're in the fight. He gives you, he kind of lures you. Exactly. What was I, a guppy? Was I a guppy, or was I what was I, made up? Was it, you know?
I needed Oscar to believe that it was going his way, all the way.
It was brilliant.
And I just needed him to throw more punches, so when I'm close enough, I can get my punches in. Because anybody is vulnerable when both guys are throwing punches. It's who get there first, or who get their accuracy at the right time, at the right place.
It was brilliant because in the 8th round, the 9th round, I felt his strength now. I felt him putting the pressure. I felt him, you know, the big middleweight that he is. I started feeling it. And then I said to myself, oh boy, here we go. Here we go. And sure enough, look, he caught me with a great body shot. And one of those body shots, I've talked to many fighters in this industry, and unfortunately, a great body shot will probably take you down for about 12 seconds. Well, that's 2 seconds too late, you know. And you know, it was a privilege. It really was an honor to face somebody like Bernard Hopkins and write it, you know. I mean, this is history, you know. And so I never feel shame for my losses. I never feel shame for who I'm facing, because I know that I'm facing the very best, and obviously facing Bernard Hopkins, it was no exception.
And finally, you lived both sides. You had the privilege of being trained by Freddy Roach and gaining some of that knowledge, and you had the misfortune of having to look across the corner and know that the guy who was coming at you was trained by Freddy Roach. What makes Freddy Roach a legend?
Well, he gives the confidence to the fighter. When a fighter respects his trainer, when he respects the master that's in front of him, you know, the person that's going to give you the instructions and come up with a game plan. When you respect that person, Freddy, for some reason, brings out the best in you. He gets you in tip-top shape, but there's something here mentally that takes you to a whole new level. And it's respect, because Freddy has been in this game for a long time. He comes from the Fitch, school, which is very respectable. But there's something mentally that Freddy does to you that takes you to new heights. It makes you want to win. It makes you want to dig deep down inside and win fights. not necessarily for Freddy, but you know, it makes you believe in yourself. Freddy makes you believe in yourself that you can do this, you know, and that's what I believe a special trainer is. And you know, I mean, we don't have too many special trainers in this sport, and you know, again, it was a real privilege for me to be trained by Freddy Roach.
You guys enjoying the insight that you're getting from these three legends? All right, now let's get into the fight real quick.
One thing I want to say to everybody, just in case you wasn't paying attention over the years, because I think this is very important. Freddy Roach, to me, is great in a lot of reasons, but personally, up on the stage, he trained 2 Hall of Famers, or at least I would go there, I believe, with no argument. So when you look at Freddy Roach and they say, is he great, or is he just good, or he just, and I tell people, look at the trainers, the fighters that he trained. There are trainers and there are teachers. Freddy is a teacher. There's a difference. There's a lot of trainers out there, some in the audience. No, you know, not putting anyone down being a trainer, but a teacher. Eddie Futch, Boy Fisher, and I can name a few more that I consider teachers. A teacher teaches you. A trainer trains you. There's a difference between those two, believe it or not. Even in the dictionary, it tells you a difference between a teacher and a trainer. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of teachers in boxing. We have a lot of trainers in boxing. And so, when you have teachers, you have longevity 9 out of 10 in fighters that win championships and keep it. Or they become even bigger, right, than the belt. Not boxing. Nobody becomes bigger than boxing. But you can reach a level where you become bigger than any title. And so I know the difference, and I recognize the difference as I mature in boxing and also in knowledge of boxing.
And we want to get into the fight a little bit, and you talked about the motivation that Freddy Roach brings to a fighter. Freddy, it's no secret that Miguel Cotto, since he's come to your camp the last 3 fights, has just been destroying people. Part of it is the fact that as an analyst, I see you having him convinced that he can run through a brick wall, and I think that the resurgence of Miguel Cotto has a lot to do with that. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. He's the first Puerto Rican to win title in 4 weight classes, and that's saying something. At this stage of his career, how do you motivate a fighter who doesn't need the win to validate anything?
Well, you know, when Miguel called me up, and it was like maybe one of the best phone calls I ever received, and he asked me, Freddy, I have about 3 fights left in me, can you help me? Yes. I mean, you know, I love to train a fighter with his skills that he's shown in the past, of course. So we've had 3 fights together now. We've had 3 great wins. Now this is our 4th fight together, and we've had probably our best training camp yet, because your first training camp together, you get to know each other. The second one, you get to know better. The third one's even better. The 4th one's great. And this has been a great training camp for us. And we're fighting against a young, tough contender, champion coming up. He has quick hands, good right hand, good puncher. I studied this opponent quite a bit, and I think I came up with the perfect game plan to defeat this fighter. So you're gonna see a different guy out there with Miguel tomorrow night. You're gonna see some noticeable changes, and I think our game plan is going to work very well, and I think we will win by knockout somewhere along the way. I'm very confident. We did have great training camp. He was unbelievable. I mean, his weight was great the whole time. Not a problem making weight or anything. And he was actually a little bit light, so I gave him 2 days off this week. So he's fresh, he's ready. Oscar, we're coming.
All right, we're ready, Freddy. We are ready. And not only is Oscar ready,
listen, I just said all those good things about Freddy. I take them all back.
please welcome the trainer for Saúl Canelo Álvarez, Chepo, Reynoso. Chepo, welcome to the panel. We're talking about how important this career-defining fight is for Saúl Canelo Álvarez. At this stage of his career, what makes him so special? A esta altura de la carrera de Saúl el Canelo Álvarez, con una pelea que puede definir su carrera, ¿qué lo convierte en un peleador tan especial, conociéndolo tan bien como tú lo conoces?
Bueno, buenas noches. Yo creo que es una pelea muy importante, pero que definitivamente no va a marcar la carrera de Saúl. Saúl es un joven de 25 años. Es una pelea importante, pero en el equipo de Saúl estamos confiados en que vienen peleas grandes todavía hay mucha carrera por delante. Esa es una gran pelea porque estamos enfrentando a un 4 veces campeón mundial, a una historia ya, una leyenda del boxeo. Pero para Saúl quedan todavía mucho camino por recorrer. Así que pues estamos muy tranquilos, estamos muy confiados en el gran trabajo que se realizó y estamos pues seguros de que vamos a triunfar mañana.
Yeah, no, he basically said that you know, this fight is very, very important. This is one of the most important fights to date for Saúl, but it's not going to define his career. People keep on forgetting that he's only 25 years old and he has a lot of career left. He has a lot of fights left in him, a lot of huge fights, a lot of mega fights. And so, you know, this is, yes, again, a very, very important fight, but this is a fight that's not going to define his career. And Saúl is in tip-top shape and they feel very confident that they're going to win on Saturday night.
And Chepo, you have had a chance to work in all 48 of Canelo's camps. What's the one thing that he's improved the most, especially leading into this fight? Has estado en sus 48 campamentos como profesional. A lo largo de los años has visto su desarrollo específicamente para este campamento. ¿Cuál ha sido lo que más te ha impresionado en su mejoramiento?
Bueno, la verdad es que Saúl desde que era un niño siempre ha sido un muchacho muy disciplinado, muy responsable y sobre todo muy sabedor de lo que quiere, a dónde quiere llegar. Para este campamento la diferencia fue que vamos a pelear contra Cotto. La diferencia fue que ahora Cotto es un peleador derecho, pero en todos nuestros campamentos siempre ha habido alegría, siempre ha habido optimismo, siempre ha habido confianza y seguridad. Así que en este campamento no fue algo raro, alguna novedad para nada. Siempre somos los mismos, el mismo equipo que arrancó cuando arrancó la carrera de hace 10 años de profesional de Saúl. Es el mismo equipo que está ahí presente y siempre con el mismo entusiasmo, con la misma alegría, y sabrá Dios hasta dónde vamos a llegar.
Yes, Saúl has been a disciplined fighter ever since he started training him as a kid. He's a fighter who is a hard worker. When he goes into camp, he takes it serious. Even when he's outside of the gym, even when he's not fighting or training, he's taking this sport very serious. So that's the difference with Saúl. You know, that this fight here, yes, he's taking it even more serious because we're facing Miguel Cotto, a legend, a fighter who's been world champion in 4 divisions. But every single fight we approach with a lot of joy and happiness, and we're always relaxed. We're always confident that we're gonna win. And obviously every training camp the strategy is different, but we feel very confident that we're gonna go out there and be victorious.
All right, B-Hop, I want you to put on your color analyst, boxing analyst hat on, and tell me, you're Miguel Cotto. How do you defeat the young, up-and-coming Canelo?
Well, first you try to intimidate him early. You try to put pressure and also make him feel uncomfortable. When you have a veteran, a fighter that's been through...
Don't give too many secrets away, B-Hop.
Yeah.
You've been that guy all your career.
Listen, exactly. So I think that is a thing where that age won't play a big part. Who has a better plan, who sticks with the better plan, and who prevail at the end. And one thing about this fight, two fighters that I know, Cotto and Canelo, they have a heart that breeds great fighters in the future, as far as future Hall of Famers, and never quitting and never not trying to win. They have it in their DNA. That's how they fought all the time. They're not going to change come Saturday on HBO pay-per-view. So by knowing that, there's going to be some adjustments that both fighters are going to have to make. And whoever stick to those plans, whoever execute those plans to the fullest, will be victorious. This is not an easy fight for either one. But someone's going to have to take an L, someone's going to have to move forward. And I believe Canelo will win, and he will win between 9th and 11th round. Freddy is right, it will be a stoppage, but it will be his guy, not ours.
All right, and Oscar, you've been both guys. You've been the young lion taking on Julio Cesar Chavez, needing that big victory like Canelo needs. And you've also been the veteran with legs of a 35-year-old who needs to stay on top and needs to find a way to win. If you're Canelo, how do you defeat Cotto?
If I'm Canelo, I would have the mentality of one that's not going to get tired, that's going to press the action. I'm thinking to myself, you know, how many rounds can Cotto stay on his feet, on his toes? Eventually, he has to. They have to give in. If I'm Canelo, I would put so much pressure and throw so many combinations, because I know I have a great chin, because I've trained hard, and you know, just give an exciting fight. I mean, I would convince myself that I have to walk through fire. I have to walk through fire, and I'm gonna get burned, and it's gonna hurt, but that pain is temporary. And this fight here, this is a very important fight, and so, you know, I would go out there and just go guns blazing. You know, I mean, that's my opinion. That's just me.
I think he was listening to Teddy Atlas's instructions on Tim Bradley. We are firemen. We take it to the fire. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight we've had the privilege of sharing the evening with two Hall of Famers, a future Hall of Famer, and a man who has the potential to take his guy to the Hall of Fame eventually. Please give a big round of applause to Chepo Reynoso, Oscar de la Hoya, Freddy Roach, and Bernard Hopkins. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it.